Title: Korean fireworks. North Korea pops off missiles post South Korea U.S. military soiree. TLDR: North Korea decides to light up the sky with 2 missile launches, and it's no coincidence that it happens right after South Korea and the U.S. finish their joint military drill party. Despite the party poopers, South Korea, the U.S., and Japan, calling out the DPRK's actions as clear UN resolution violations, North Korea doesn't seem to be bothered much. But hey, isn't stirring the pot kind of their thing? The peace and quiet after a robust South Korean-US military drill were shattered when North Korea decided it was their turn to flex, launching not 1, but 2 short-range missiles into the East Sea. Hey South Korea, US, your joint drill was cool, but check this out, North Korea probably. The South Korean military got to play detective, picking up on the launches from Pyongyang. Meanwhile, Japan, playing catcher in this unusual game of catch, confirmed that the missiles landed within their exclusive economic zone. Close, but no cigar, Kim Jong-un. So, the US, South Korea, and Japan collectively decided to condemn the missile launches, dubbing them as violations of the United Nations Security Council resolutions. They made a joint statement expressing their concerns about the threat the DPRK's weapons programs pose. But did Kim Jong-un and company hear it over the sound of their fireworks display? With perfect timing, US President Joe Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, happened to be in Tokyo discussing the DPRK's missile program with his counterparts from Japan and South Korea. Quite the topic for watercooler conversation, huh? South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol had just been admiring the live-fire exercises by South Korean and US troops. But North Korea, clearly unimpressed, sternly promised to respond to any kind of protests or provocations by enemies. Is that code for any kind of joint military drills by allies? And let's not forget the spy satellite North Korea tried to launch last month, which didn't quite go to plan. Space exploration, not as easy as it looks, eh? Adding to the drama, South Korea is suing North Korea for $35 million for a liaison office the latter blew up in 2020. Yikes. Talk about a breakdown in neighborly relations. To add salt to the wound, the US imposed sanctions on a North Korean couple in Beijing accused of helping procure equipment for ballistic missiles. It's like that keeping up with the Joneses thing, but with missile parts. So, where does all this leave us? More sanctions? More military drills? More missile launches? Or, dare we suggest, diplomatic efforts to reduce tension? And the big question, is this whole military muscle flexing a show for the international community, or are we on the brink of a potentially disastrous conflict? After all, isn't there a fine line between throwing a rock into a pond to make a splash and causing a tsunami? What's your take on it?